Welcome. It's Psychic Tuesday, and I'm your guide, Bernice Bisson. We're going to start off with the astrology this next 7 to 10 days, and I'm going to go into messages for all the signs. Please listen to all your sun, your moon, and your rising. Your sun is your divine masculine. Your moon is the divine feminine, which governs your home, body, emotions, and the self. Your divine masculine is your social obligations, the outer world, responsibilities. And then the ascendant, your first house in astrology, is really how you drive both of those together and how you bring those forward, how you might move something forward, or how you might go about doing things using both the feminine and the masculine. If you're sort of wondering, and you can find that by running your natal chart in many very credible astrology sites. Now let's get into it. We're going to start with Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. Aries, this is going to be a time for you to focus on your wealth, your money, making plans around securing your finances. It's not even just so much about a job. I think it's going to be more around your money and more around what you have, what's coming, what's owed, either way. And that you could bring on an advisor, you could bring on professional help, you could bring on people who are very helpful to you for the next 7 to 10 days. You have a lot of talent and skills, and it's going to be really about figuring out which ones you want to pursue, which ones you're going to have to pick out of the tool chest and go and utilize. And because once you kind of follow in a direction with work, you're going to go down a bit of a rabbit hole. And I feel like you're going to have to pour all your resources into, 2 or 3 of your skill sets. You won't need all of them. So I feel like, it's tough when you can do a lot of things. It's going to be about picking which direction you want to go in with that. And you can have real reinforcement from seeing your efforts. Like you could see suddenly you got a little bit of savings in the bank. Suddenly, your credit score looks better. Suddenly you're getting job offers because you perked up your resume. So there's going to be some real signs for you, and that you can have it all and that you can really pull this together. But I feel like it's going to require you to make a few commitments to some of the goals you've set out to yourself. Okay. All right. Thank you, Aries. And for all the signs, what's really important to remember is this next 7 to 10 days, we have a couple of important transits, both involving Mars. One is with Pluto and Pluto opposing Mars. And then the other one is Saturn, Venus, and then Venus in its context to Mars. And so if I think about things you value, how you're being valued, how deep you're willing to go and the depth of your commitments. And that goes also commitments coming at you. How deep are people willing to commit to? So it's going to be an overarching energy for everybody, but let's keep going. Let's go to Taurus. Tauruses, sun, moon, rising, our little Tauruses. Hey, victory can be yours. Maybe get the last word. Maybe get the last laugh. Maybe you find that you were right and you get to tell people that. Maybe you're going to enjoy that a little bit. And it could even be a time where you really get a backbone. You're really where like, you know what? I'm just saying it. Maybe you have no more cares to give. And you're just saying it now. And so there's something about your backbone and really standing up for yourself. You're really looking at trying to raise your vibration and find the funny side of life. It might be a good time to tune into some good movies, funny movies, comedy shows, getting out and about to get a good laugh, raise your vibration. I feel like that jovial environment is something that could do a lot of healing for you there, Tauruses. And that I feel like maybe in those environments, your social environments, those things that you find joy, that maybe you actually conceive some good ideas. Maybe you're given a good idea. Maybe you're given some good advice. Maybe just the right timing for an idea to percolate that finally comes into being, that makes your life easier. Feels like it could be a pretty big life hack for you in some way. And that, you could be really delving into your creative efforts, home. You could sort through seasonal clothing. You could really cook and find some comfort in your cooking or baking, finding some real comfort in your home environment. Next 7 to 10 days. Gemini, sun, moon, rising, Geminis. This is a time of abandoning things that don't serve you. This is a time about not pouring your energy into anything that's really just kind of draining. And I wouldn't hold on to those things. I feel like you might let go of a few things for you to move forward. Part of this is you got Jupiter in your sign, but you also have the planet Uranus coming in over the next couple of coming months. And it's going to introduce the unexpected. And I feel like anything that comes unexpectedly, but letting go is, and there could be an advantage to, there could be an advantage in the delay. Don't, anything that you feel remorse for, clear it up now. That could be something you've said, something you've thought, something you've done. And you might have projected it on someone else, but it's actually about you. And it's actually about maybe what you've learned about yourself, what you'll tolerate, what you won't tolerate. And that you might view what has been a bit of hard lessons as some teachers, as some worthy lessons to catapult you into really new energy, new learning environments where you could have to really understand, learn a new work environment, learn a new house environment, learn a new health environment, learn a new, and learning the ways of the lay of the road, or how things are mapped out, or how things are going to pan out for you. Because I feel like come your birthday, you're really resurging into a new direction with new energy. And I do feel like really a lot of healing on the horizon for you guys. They're Geminis, Cancerians, Sun, Moon, Rising, my little Cancers. Boy, this is time of wish fulfillment. This might have been a kind of a crazy, you just had a full moon, you've got Mars retrograde in your sign. So pulling back actions, pulling back your energy, focusing it on yourself, what you need, because Cancerians sometimes they give a lot to others and neglect themselves. Hey, be greedy, drink it up, be like a little cat lapping milk in a bowl, and enjoy the wish fulfillments. It could be news about travels, news about jobs, news about roles you wanted at work, news about your health, things that you're going to find some good news. And this full moon could be shedding some light on what has been a big change, like a bit changey, like you might have had some really unexpected dramas that you've had to resolve that really weren't yours, but for some reason would have fallen in your purview of responsibility, whether it's obligated to family or you're obligated to work dynamics. And this is a time for you in a gain. You can gain weight, you can gain finances, you can gain a good reputation, you can gain your momentum. And this is a time where you might have to handle things with maturity. You might have to be the bigger person in different areas, and know that you are safe and you are loved. And this is maybe a good time for you to move forward around recreating a bit of your identity of self. And so it feels like you're recommitting to yourself and your goals. That feels pretty exciting there, little crab Cancerians. Leos, Sun, Moon, Rising. Leos, this is a time where I would pay attention to all the signs and symbols, news that percolates. It could be news that pops up on your radio or television, that there could be things that are nostalgic, things that bring you back, things that remind you, things that could be huge signs from spirit, and that there's slight changes needed right now in some of your direction. You're on the right path, but you might have to refine some of the details of that path. Like it might be around making budgets and putting them in place for the new year, really looking at some of the practicalities in your life. It could even be agendas and of upcoming schedules and commitments. Don't overbook yourself. This is a time where you might have to find things that are mundane, make it a game. You could find yourself making something a game where you find it mundane and you're like, oh, okay, like I Spy on a long road trip, and that you could be really making changes around where you live. And that could be if you own one or two places, 3 or 4 places, you could be making changes around property where you live. That could even be as simple as feng shuiing your place, or as big as selling a property and moving. And so some big stuff for Leos. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising. Our Virgos out there, this is a time that, maybe some relationships aren't aligned around you. You'll be called to be upfront and forthright around that. And that if you're feeling lonely, you could feel like you want to get up to some mischief and contact exes or contact people from the past, or in order to, and this isn't the time for that. So sit in the loneliness a little bit, because you have new opportunities on the horizon, and maybe what has kept you stuck was vacillating between what, other people expected of you and what you really wanted. And this is going to be a time for you, especially if you go into Pisces energy, where that seventh house is very much lit up as a time for you to deal with and move forward. And with that is some strong eclipse energy coming up. So, relationships could be a bit bumpy, but this is a time where, you could have the privilege of choices. Good for you, Virgo. Pick one that's actually authentic to yourself. Libra, sun, moon, rising. Libras, this is a time where your friends could come in handy. They could give you good advice. They could be very helpful in pointing you in directions in your social environments. This is a time where you can reunify with people from your past. You could run into old friends, old bosses, old social circles, old invitations, old lovers. And it feels a bit welcoming, like, hey, this feels like some good stuff for you, or something that could come up for you in a really good way that could introduce you to new pathways. So old directions, if you go back to around 2017, maybe around the time of Aries, so around March, April, that there could be reintroductions of people into your life that could actually be the right timing now, which is going to be interesting for you. And so hang in there, Libra, because I really feel this is about, you could even be really encouraged about how far you've come in your life, and that you might have found frustrations with work or your circles around that you could find that you're being encouraged again, that you're being reminded of just how powerful you really are, and how you've built allies along the way. Scorpio, sun, moon, rising. This is a time, hey, your reputation, your glory, your things you put effort into, people might finally see it. They might say, hey, this looks pretty good. And you can conclude something important about a project or something you've been working on that you've been really wanting to wrap up and start something new already. And you're feeling maybe even that could be the celebration in itself, and that your winner chicken dinner is going to be your work. I feel like shelter in, hibernate for a while, focus in on your personal goals, your work, things you've been wanting to work on. I feel like this is going to be the big payoff for you, Scorpios. Sagittarian, sun, moon, rising, Saggies, excitement is building. You can have events, things you're planning for the future. That could be trips, events, something kind of exciting where you want to be with people, bring people together. I feel like you might be really thinking about really rebuilding your internal self, your body, your home, restructure, renovate, recreate. You could be really rejuvenating. Anything to do with your home, body, or emotional environment, Sagittarians. You could even find yourself really delving into some really deep creative projects that of the mind. That could be some good books, things you're reading, things you're writing, things you're singing, things that you're communicating are really strong for you over the next 7 to 10 days. And you could even be as viral posts, things that are catchy, things that people are tuning into. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising. This is a time where you could get your dream opportunities. You just had a couple of powerful new moons as reset buttons, and you've got a lot of power in your second house of things you value. And so this is about your worthiness, being valued, your value, your worth, how you're being valued. That could be pay raises, job offers. You might be saying, if you work for yourself, I'm raising my prices, and this would be a time to raise your price in relationships, raise your price to your clients, because I feel like you're worth every penny. And this is going to be a time that you're going to be able to do that, really move forward in addressing your value. And that could even be in settlements or negotiations. You might be able to negotiate your value, which is going to be powerful for you. Aquarians, next 7 to 10 days, sun, moon, rising. This is a time where you're going to address your fears, things that you've been fearful about. You could be addressing, really looking at issues within the psyche, your health, your mental wellness, your home, your hoarding, your environment. You might declutter. You might be really focused on really becoming really logical and organized and ready and prepared to address anything. And so as you build into your birthday, you're really building your preparedness and your birthday season to be prepared for anything and really grab your power in those areas. And you can say, I'm adulting and I'm adulting well. And you're going to feel pretty good about it, Aquarians. And this is going to be a time of you coming up with some really resourceful ideas, particularly around your work, projects you're working on, your income, and how things benefit you. Pisces, finally, sun, moon, rising, Pisces. And, this is going to be a time where you're going to be really look at your nourishment. You're going to really look at your diet, what you're eating, what nourishes you, nourishes your soul, your emotional and your physical bodies. You're going to consolidate maybe finances. You're going to consolidate your resources. You could have people staying with you. You could be consolidating that way. You could be looking at what you have, what you own, and really pulling things together, really counting your blessings, really looking at the gratitude. You could be reawakening to really what you do have as opposed to what you felt maybe you've been missing. And I really feel like this next 7 to 10 days, you're really going to be able to count those blessings and really be able to see them in proof and form and signs and symbols. And I feel like that's going to be, and you're going to have a support maybe of people that you really appreciate getting their support. And all the power to you, Pisces. Thank you. You can find me at bernicebissonpsychic.com. And you can find me also on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck Television. All my contacts and socials are on my website. You can find me there. Okay, let's get into it. I have Sarah, who's waited so patiently for me to work with her. Hello, Sarah, in Toronto, Canada. How can I help you?
Hi.
Hello,
How are you?
hello. I'm absolutely fantastic, and my name is Bernice Bisson, and I am a psychic in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and I'm here to be of service to you in some way. How can I help you for the next 10 or so minutes?
Me and my family are about to make a really big move, and I'm just curious if you can maybe tell me how my kids and stuff are gonna take this move.
Okay. Wonderful. We're going to think about that a little bit, and we're going to focus in a bit on the move and how we're going to take the move. I feel like this isn't about, so how they're going to take the move is more about how we can make it a game, how we can alchemize the changes that are ahead, because I feel like you're left without choice around move. I feel like the opportunities, the offerings, they come with the move. So I feel like this isn't about being able to go back. I feel like it's going to take about 6 months to settle in for some reason. I feel like this is really, I hear chase a dream, chase a dream, chase a dream. And I feel like you might even find that with your family that, where you're going, I feel like there might be a father figure or a man who's going to come with or be there. And I feel like he'll be very helpful. This father figure, this man who'll be there. And I feel like he's going to be really helpful. And I feel like isolation for some reason. And I feel like if I think about the isolation, it's going to be about hooking the kids up to things that you might be a chauffeur for a while. You might be driving kids around for a while or driving people around to really make sure that you might be linking people up. Your job might be connecting the kids to extracurricular activities that they would be interested in, because I feel like there's lots of benefits for this move, and there's lots of benefits maybe to your family and also this patriarch figure as well. And I feel like one of your kids with this particular move, I actually feel like they're both going to adjust. I just feel like it's really about building that social network. And I feel like there's something about your own work or your own identity that really takes off in this move. I know it sounds kind of funny, but there might be something in this move where you're able to really work independently, work from home. You can provide support to both your family, and you're able to really launch some sort of self-driven um, employment or opportunity that feels really brilliant. Actually, it feels like this
That's
opportunity.
kind of what I wanted to really hear, is because where we currently are, we've never really been able to strive as a family or as a whole. Like my kids, it's just not a very good place. It's not a very good environment. It's not a good town. It's not a good, um, you know. So it's just not a positive, right?
Oh, and I'm
It's
really
very,
happy you're then choosing
yeah.
somewhere else, because I'll be honest with you,
So
I
we're
feel
we're
like.
kind of we're kind of moving to more of a country setting. Um,
Mhm.
so, and I was just
This is
wondering
why.
if it. I didn't know if it was a good choice, and I was debating whether it was going to be a good or bad, and I was just kind of just going with what my heart was telling me, and um, I just needed to know. That's all.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so I'm going to just go a bit deeper into this conversation about. I feel like. Yes, that's the isolation, though. This is to help the kids adjust to the country, the urban, I'll call it rural kind of living, rural living. You have hooking them up. Like I said, you might be a chauffeur for a bit. You might have to get them to the curricular activities, get them to places, hook them up so they don't feel isolated in the country. Because I do have a vibe for some reason, your older one will try to jet line back to the city. And, or might find mischief in funny places, like that they could have all the places in the country and all the other kids they meet in the country. I feel like they could wind up with the kids that love to stir the pot. So I feel like, just to keep an eye on one of your kids, I almost feel like the older one who might be wanting to. I don't know that they want to give up, or that the city will attract them back at some point, just so you know. Um,
I
but
hope
I,
not.
well, I feel like it's going to be their pull. So it's something that I'm telling you, the isolation, if it's going to be a downer, I feel like make sure that they can at least, because I feel like they won't, they're good. The fear of being stuck at home, like, it's almost like, um, that's why I feel like if you hook them up to local groups in whatever area you're moving to, that they can feel connected to their own circles of friends. Okay.
Yeah. So like I'm hoping that the new school has like the co-op, and he really likes mechanics and small engine repair and stuff. So I'm hoping that they have a lot of that stuff out there for him. So
Yeah. And I'm hoping so too. I'm hoping so too. But this is something I feel like to connect them up to. Like, it would be a bit of a, yeah. And if it's a priority, and it's like where they have, say, that mechanic courses and those types of things, I feel like, just to get him hooked up, and the extracurricular as well. And so he can get around on his own if that's the case. Okay. So it's just to make sure of that. Okay. And,
okay.
and for you, in terms of being able to have launch something more independent and be able to work, um, closer to home or from home, is going to be really key for you. I feel like there's better opportunities. And, I say independent because I feel like ultimately you should work for yourself. That's kind of how I feel. But um, I do think that there could be, where you're moving, an opportunity for a business. And I feel like it's something that you and your husband, your partner, could consider. And it would be very much tied to living in the country. And so, maybe closer from like where you are from home, or close from home. But there's something that the two of you, a business opportunity will actually pop up, that I feel like you would be the one in the area. So it would be something that I feel like, so if there's, they have this store, they have that thing, I feel like there's something really key for you guys around this as well. And I would laugh if it was a garage and your son was ever involved. I think that would be kind of funny. But um,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, and it could be like, connected to a property, like where you move could host that in some way even, or that it would be closer to. So it feels really positive. I feel like that's the only thing I would think of for you to weigh in mind. Now, the other thing in this move is providing health care to someone. And you might be called upon to be a support in a healthcare, like for someone's healthcare, or they could come stay with you while they're recovering. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And I feel like that could be like a parent figure or the like. And I feel like somebody could be recovering. And they keep saying like a fall, could be a concussion, could be something like that. That sort of pops up that you might be required to show up for them in some way. Okay. Okay. The other
Okay.
piece I think
That's not
about.
the first time. Like, I've had to take care of my mother after brain surgery and stuff too, right? So I wouldn't be
Oh,
surprised. Yeah.
is she
Like,
where she
I mean,
did she
I'm
live where you are moving? Is she kind of close to where you're moving?
no. Um, but my son's mother, like my ex mother-in-law, does.
Okay. So I just feel like you could have a parent figure who might have to stay with you, or that you would have to go to provide care for. If I think of moves and changes and those types of things, I think this is going to come into the conversation as well. And I honestly, girl, I hope you're buying a compound. I hope you have like an area you're
It's
moving
a
that
big
you
house.
have.
It's a big house. Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
4 or 5 bedroom
yeah.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, we were able to have people with you because I feel like you never move alone. Good God. And I feel like you have the old, the young, you have everyone with you. And I feel like you are the glue. You are the glue in a lot of ways. And I feel like this move is a strong move. And I feel like it's going to be right in a lot of ways. And I feel like there's other people who could wind up moving into that home or come closer to you as a result. And I do think that it does set your work trajectory a little bit in a different way, which does feel really good, particularly around your independence. So you're getting thumbs up, it feels like, from the universe. And that I wish you lots of loving blessings in your new house, in your new place, and that to your son and his success as well. And thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to Psychic Tuesday with Bernice Bisson. And we will see everybody again in 7 days. And hopefully it'll be warmer when we join. Okay, enjoy, and we'll see you soon.